Today, we're going to look at He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Stratos from the cartoon collection. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're continuing one of my favorite toy lines going right now, and that's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection. I'm all in on this line. I've gotten pretty much all the figures. I'm waiting on a few to come in, but I did receive Stratos quite a while ago, and I was waiting to do this video. I was hoping to get a couple more in. Anyways, here he is. And the packaging is old school, just like our old He-Man we used to play with. Now, these are not based on our toys. These are more based on the Filmation cartoon, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, from when we was kids. But, yeah, checking it out. Great packaging. Very nostalgic. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. 80s it has up there. 80s, Gotta get my glasses. 80s Adventures, it says. You can see I have the unpunched one here, but I'm going to take him out of the box. And it says Stratos, Winged Warrior, and then we can see cartoon collection right there. Now, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between this line and the Origins line. Slight differences, but I was late on that line, so I wanted to get some He-Man figures, and I decided what better way to get into a He-Man line than get in on a new one, and that's what this was. Cartoon collection was new last year, I think midway through the year, so I said I'm in. I'm going to go all in, get all these figures at release, and this is my latest one, Stratos, Winged Warrior. On the back, you can see an awesome fight scene up there. And it says, as seen on Reign of the Monster, which in that episode of He-Man, Stratos gets kidnapped by Skeletor, and he wants to learn all the powers of his Staff of Avion. And Avion is where Stratos is from. It's a land on Eternia called Avion, and he is the leader of the bird people who live in Avion. I'm expecting to probably get his sisters. He has two sisters on He-Man. That is actually mentioned in Reign of the Monster, that episode, so I imagine them will be released somewhere down the line. I'm sure not very early. We probably got a year or two for them to come. But we have it says here, includes comic book right there on that starburst, and it says modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe animated series. And we have, it says, includes Staff of Avion and twist into powerful battle positions. Whoa! Then we have our cross cell, which is Teela, Trapjaw, which I have opened already on the channel. Check those videos out if you have not seen them. And then now we're opening Stratos, and then Merman will be our next one. But yeah, that's about it. And then we have our warnings, copyrights, labels, all that down here. So that's pretty much it for packaging. Pretty cut and dry. The cardboard is really thin. I wish they would have started with thicker cardboard, but I opened mine. It's not a big deal to me, but I'm sure there are some people that would appreciate a kind of a thicker card back here. So I'm going to cut, like I have all my other Masters of the Universe cartoon collection, I'm going to cut right down here and then lift that up and pull him out. And I will keep my packaging. So a simple cut right here. Try not to cut into my comic. There is this comic down here. Don't want to do that. And let's see. Okay, I should be able to get him out of that, I believe. I got this little hook bill kind of kitchen knife, and it's coming real handy. That just kind of scores right along there. So, all right, so here's what we'll do. We'll just pull that up like that, and he does have a second bubble in here. You gotta shimmy that out, and bam, it's out of there. And then you're left with your comic in there. And then once you get that comic out, you got Grayskull there. Castle Grayskull. Really cool. Set that to the side. Here we have directions, and these tell you what parts you can take off and you can swap out with your different figures. Yeah, so the head's removable, both arms and the feet are all removable, and it looks like even crotch area here is even removable. So a lot of mix and matching and swapping with your other figures. Here is our comic. On the back you have the cross cell again, and this is Perilous Power, and it has Merman and Stratos on it. Nice. I'll give you one page of that comic. Pretty cool. It's nice that they give us that. They don't have to. Here he is, Stratos, in his plastic. Looks really good. Looks a lot like the cartoon. With our old action figures, our Stratos, he was Beastman. So he just had Beastman's body, of course, covered, and then had these wings put on and a different head sculpt. And that was it. Mossman and Beastman and Stratos were the same body. They just paint them different. They are tied in, definitely at the ankles. These are really hard to get cut out. And he also is tied in at the wrists. So ankles and wrists. Alright, I got all my ties cut off here. So ankles, wrists, all points tied in. So pulling him out. Here he is. We'll talk about his staff first. This was called the Staff of Avion, and this is, there's our empty thing, empty plastic. So this is what Skeletor was after when he kidnapped Stratos in Reign of the Monsters. He was all after this. Now this is kind of flexy, but it's still pretty stiff. I like this. Pretty good. And it looks just like the one that's on the cartoon. So this is Stratos's Staff of Avion, and it has certain powers it can do. Right out of the beginning of the cartoons, he uses it to set off. He puts fireworks in the sky. Yep. So different things he can do with that. Now Stratos can fly, and if you was wondering what Stratos means, what does Stratos mean? I looked it up. Stratos means, it's Greek for darkest midnight sky. And it is a color in Greek, and Stratos is associated with integrity, power, heroism, all the great things that a leader needs, and that is why Stratos is the leader of the bird people and a really big ally of He-Man. So that's how he was in the package, and I love how they put him in the old stance of our old He-Mans, and it's just awesome when you get to straighten these out for the first time. I love straightening them out. Yep. Now let's talk about articulation. Now this is our He-Man and the Masters Universe Cartoon Collection articulation. You see head, a lot of head movement. Arms has that single butterfly on there, just that joint, that shoulder joint. The shoulders do go all the way around. He has a single jointed pinned elbows. He has wrists that rotate, and they do go up and down. So we have wrist articulation up and down. He has big splits, not very big straddles for Stratos. That back hip gets in the way. He does have single jointed knees, and those knees go all the way around, and that's the same thing with the elbows, which is awesome. If you have those single jointed elbows, you can get them to rotate all the way around. He has an upper boot cut that goes all the way around, and he has ankle articulation, which of course Stratos can pirouette. Yes, pirouette machine. Now Stratos has the power of flight. Stratos has the power of flight, and he's eagle-eyed, so He-Man can use him as a spy because he can fly above and look down far away and see what's going on with Skeletor and Beastman and Merman and the other evil guys on Masters of the Universe. So we do see this jetpack, and it is removable, I believe. Yeah, because his head comes off, head pops right off. I don't know why you'd want to take his jetpack off. We need that on so he can fly. But yeah, the leader of the bird people, he has these forearm feathers on. He's got his blue goggles with black eyes. And he's got this goatee. Kind of looks like a billy goat. And I mentioned the jetpack. He's got blue trunks, this red belt, and red shoes. So the color is really good. Gray, red, and blue. You can't beat them colors. Those are really cool. But yeah, here's Stratos. Let's see what he looks like holding his Staff of Avion. There we go. He-Man's very good ally, Stratos, leader of the bird people. Now let's go ahead and get his good buddy He-Man in here. So here we go, and we are really getting our collection together. I think we have 8 or 9 of these figures now from the cartoon collection, but it's definitely one of my favorite toy lines going right now as far as action figures go. I'm all in on this so far. I'm waiting on a few others to come in, but Stratos, highly recommend it. This line is unbelievable. You can mix and match all these parts, come off of him very easily. But yeah, Stratos, leader of the bird people from Avion. And until next time, oh yeah.